Welcome. This is Tax Pro Nation, the home of the independent tax professionals, where you can find a tax community, maximize your earnings, and live life on your own terms. I'm your host, Imelda Ledesma, COO of Pronto Tax School. Welcome back to our IRS Tax Forum Spotlight Series.
We're live again. We haven't gone live this many times in one day. Y'all have been bothering me to go live all the time. Now I'm going live multiple times in one day. We're here with Isaac.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to give you a warm welcome.
Thank you.
Isaac, even though I just met him maybe about 30 minutes ago, we have a special bond because that's my son's name.
Yeah.
That's a nice, strong name.
It's a nice name. It's a nice
You happy with it?
I like my name, yes.
Good for you. You should. So that's a good foundation of us having a good conversation.
Yeah, of course.
The reason that I invited you onto the Tax Pro Nation podcast, Isaac, is in our industry, we have a lot of people that we call them more experienced.
Yeah.
Some people might say that we're a little older.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you're a younger guy. You're here at the IRS Forum. You might actually be the youngest person here.
I told them I think I might be the actual.
Have you checked around and seen it?
Yeah, we walked around like the whole building, and I'm like looking around. Maybe I think I am the youngest here. Maybe, probably, most likely, yeah.
So that's a good thing, and we're going to get into a little bit about why that's going to create an interesting conversation here because it's actually something that's on a lot of people's mind. I can't even count the number of people that I've talked to that are more advanced in their career and in their business, where they're looking for younger people to be involved in their business. And we're, for whatever reason, not attracting young, talented people such as yourself to our industry as much as we feel like maybe we should. Mm-hmm. And so I'm interested to learn from you kind of like how you were able to connect with your mentors and your people that you work with in the tax industry, kind of your story. So what's your last name? We know your first name's Isaac, and then the business that you work with, let's give them some publicity as well.
Yeah, so my last name is Olivera, so very common Brazilian name. So I met them through my church. I've always had a business mindset. I never really liked, I guess you could say, I never liked school. I always just had a mental thing like you're going to have your own business, you're going to learn something, and you're going to just be so good at it that one day you have your own business and you'll explode. And that's kind of how my mindset always been. And then when I met, Breno, he was like, listen, like, I want to take you under my wing. Like, I want to take you to these events. Like, I was already going to events with him. And he was like, let me take you under my wing. Like, I'm going to teach you, how to do taxes. And then I started learning and I really liked it. And then, he took me under his wing, and I was like, it's a business mindset, and I was like, let's do it. Let's learn, let's study, and let's go after it.
And so, did you? What's the business name that you guys work with?
So it's TB Financial.
TB.
So
TB
Thiago
Financial.
And Breno, they're the owner and partner. So that's Thiago, and Breno is somewhere around over there.
Okay, and you guys are in South Florida. What area?
Yeah. So we are located. Our office is in Pompano Beach. It's South Florida, around the Boca area. If we just say Boca, everybody knows where Boca is. So.
And you have a strong presence and service focus in the Brazilian community in that area?
That is correct.
Okay. And so you have a really good niche of that. You mentioned when we were talking before, a lot of like small business owners, maybe local business owners, service providers. Tell us a little bit about your clients, because I'm imagining, Isaac, that what you enjoy about this business is getting to know those kinds of people that had maybe similar dreams that you did.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about those client interactions.
A lot of our clients, they're really cool. The Brazilians have a family feel every time you talk to them, even if it's business related.
Okay.
Like a lot of times they'll invite us to go to their, restaurant or their office. They'll give us a coffee, and that's something that I feel like Brazilians have the advantage, right? Everybody's so welcoming, so family oriented. And I think it's something that in Latin America, just when you grow up in Brazilian household, that's how it is. Like you're bringing out your cousin, your aunt, and it's like every Sunday, every week, there's there's a meal like people coming over. So I think
you guys build that into your business. Is that
yeah, we definitely try to build that into our business, that hospitality, because we try to any client that comes through, we want them to feel welcome and to feel loved by our team. Because then they feel like, wow, like these people, like, not only are they doing a good service, they're doing above and beyond what I'm asking them or the service, but they're also welcoming us to their office, giving us a coffee, going out for lunch. So we like to do that a lot to make our customers feel like welcome and really understand what we're all about.
And it probably makes your job more fun, right?
It does make our job more fun,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So because I think a lot of people, they think automatically, they think of taxes or accounting, they think boring.
Old school, boring.
Yeah, not modernized, lame. Well, what other words could I use? It's not necessarily all positive. So you're giving me a little bit of a different a version of that. When you said that you were not good at school, and maybe you didn't enjoy school as much.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's so. Say I'm a tax business owner, which I am, and I'm looking to connect better with the younger generation. Is the people that maybe don't like school as much, that are more entrepreneurial, is that the kind of person that maybe I want to connect with?
I wasn't bad in school. I guess when I say I'm bad in school, I just didn't care as much. I always had good grades.
Okay.
I graduated with a.
So it wasn't
3.
you were bad at it, you just didn't maybe enjoy it as much?
Yeah, I just didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
My GPA was 3.5 graduating high school.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
Yep.
I just didn't want to pursue college because I knew where my mind was, and it was entrepreneurship. And I think the younger generation, there's a lot of younger entrepreneurs that they just don't know a niche, they don't know where they want to grow. Right. So I guess for me is when I found the tax bracket and let's just say general finances.
Yep. Okay.
I feel like that's kind of like I was able to relate. I was like, wow, I like numbers, I like money. Who doesn't like want to work in finances and own your own business and just grow yourself as a person? And that's where I wanted to pursue. And I think that's the mindset that most younger kids they're starting to grow. And I feel like if you start bringing like AI and things to the business too, and more younger people will start to get interested. I think that's something that's very important now. So
should I look then for younger people that have sort of an entrepreneurial attitude and aspirations?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Because if that's where their heart and mind really is, then you can see that through their dedication.
Okay.
You can see that just by the look in their eyes. It's really.
And so I think for that, like I can understand that because I'm entrepreneurial myself. So I like that, and I think a lot of our audience as well would like that. You must have evaluated though. Being that you knew that you wanted to do something entrepreneurial, I would imagine that you evaluated a number of opportunities, right? What else did you look into? And then also, how much of you choosing the tax business was like you versus meeting the mentors and the people that you were able to, kind of like, what else did you compare it to? So before I met my mentors, I started off with a business called MCAs. Okay. It's called business funding. Yep. Which still to this day I still do that on like as my own kind of thing, like business, because it kind of correlates sometimes with taxes and bookkeeping. So I still do that. That was where I wanted to fully pursue, but then I was just like, it's a lot to start up as a 19-year-old. I was just like, people won't look at you too much with respect. Okay. Because you're younger, but it's just like if you're doing taxes, it's like if the age doesn't really matter if you know what you're talking about. Okay. Because it's something you can study, you can go to lessons, you can get your EA, you can get your CPA. Yeah. Okay. And these things give you credibility. As with funding, it's just like you have to get a high number of funding to build credibility, I guess you could say. So when I found the taxes area, I was just like, oh, I don't have to go to school, but I was like, okay, I can go to get an EA, learn to be an EA, get a CPA, and that's like, okay. But like, that's going to help, my career and definitely with business. So when I found the area, I was just like, this is where I want to pursue. And yeah, I found it. I was like, awesome, let's just go. Let's not think twice. Let's just jump in, and that's where it's going to be. Let's just go. Yeah, and I mean, isn't it interesting with taxes and accounting too, especially as a younger person where, I started doing it when I was, I think, 24, but my dad had always been in the business. So I would go and help him with different, passing out flyers or being in the office or seeing these type of things. And so taxes and accounting is so interesting as having an entrepreneurial mindset and especially with being a younger person, because you can see so many different types of businesses, and like you can see how much money they're making, what their profit margin is, maybe what their quality of life is, like are they married, are they divorced, you know, like, you know, what's the grind that they go through, because every business, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
Yeah,
and our business,
100%.
we have challenges too, but you have kind of this wide view, right? Which I think at your age is like super interesting, right? Like
so when I first started doing taxes and reading how their life is, like seeing through everything, it's kind of eye-opening. Like you kind of like, you're like, oh, someone that you think may be making a lot of money, they're not really profiting things, but they're in a pot, or someone that looks not good, they're in better shape than 99% of people.
Interesting.
And it's actually kind of good because you get to take the good things for yourself. It's kind of like you get to see people like, what are they doing that maybe I can learn from, even though I'm the one doing their taxes.
Right.
You know? You're kind of like, oh, maybe like what's someone's life advice? Like why did you go this route instead of that route? And you know, and it's good advice, and you know, it really opens your eyes to the bigger picture of everything. Yeah, so it's really interesting.
I learned a lot just by, you get beyond your assumptions really quickly with like, we think of the tax, especially tax preparation, of sort of the front lines of finance, like you're kind of really in the trenches, where a lot of people that you deal with, you know, this is a mandatory thing that they're being forced to do, that they, especially with business clients, they would rather be pretty much anywhere than what they're doing.
Their taxes,
they're gonna owe, or whatever it might be, right? So you're really up close with people, and you see, you know, their stress, their, you know, their dreams, what they're trying to do. You get to see people be successful. You also get to see people, maybe their business doesn't work out. And, you know, I think it's interesting for younger people, because I feel like your generation, so you said you're 19, right?
Yeah, I'm 19 years old, yes.
I feel like your generation, and one of the things I really am enjoying about seeing you guys grow up and go into the workplace, is the values that I see a lot of you guys having are very in line with my values, in terms of that I would like to have autonomy over my own life and have different options of what I could do in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and I also want to help people in my career and be, you know, meeting interesting people, having fun and things like that. So it's because that's so much different than the assumption about getting into tax or accounting is.
That it's just boring. It's just in front of a desktop all day.
People don't know.
Yeah, like, they don't really know what it's like.
They don't know that we actually sometimes have fun, and it's actually sometimes you have a really good laugh with a client.
Yeah.
And it's and you can actually just change somebody's life just by think about all like the lonely people out there. When you're a business owner, a small business owner, the loneliness factor and nobody at your side. So you're kind of providing that. So I feel like your generation is actually a good fit. What do you think that we could do? And hopefully this broadcast and getting your experience out to other people that are looking to, how can I connect better with younger people? How can I, because in many cases too, Isaac, they have a great business that's like a high profit margin business, and they have nobody that even can take over. So I said, that's why I said to your mentors here, I said, be careful. Don't let them get to introduce to too many people. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. What can we do to do a better job of, because sometimes you feel like, even right now, I feel like I'm trying to sell it to you, and you're like, I'm already in the business, right? But what can we do to better connect with your generation and kind of at least inform you of something that, like, take a look at this, you know, take a look at this as an option, because when you look at your options, it actually has a lot of benefits.
Yeah. So I always tell people, like, I don't think my mindset is so, like, what Gen Z, I guess they say, like, my mindset's totally different. I guess that's something that my parents put in my mind.
Interesting, okay.
But when it comes to, like, business-wise, I feel like nowadays with AI, I feel like the number one captivator for younger people is just use AI to not only automate your business, but to captivate younger people, so to keep your business growing. So that's something that we're actually doing now, is we're looking at systems to automate doing returns.
Okay.
Which actually obviously is easier for us, but in the future, long term, if you present to younger people like, hey, like, look at this AI system that we're implementing to our business, we could use someone younger to run it.
Interesting.
Because a lot of people my age too, they're kind of lazy. It's something that, so if you make the process lazy proof, like, it's just like, here's an AI system that will make your job a little easier, but things will get done efficiently. It'll be done correctly. Like, I think that's something that when I first started, we were doing like everything manual, and we're still doing things manually, but just like having now like options of AI and all these things is definitely interesting to see. Like,
so you could be at the forefront of leading that in the business.
Yeah, 100%, because it's like something that I guess younger generation understand. Like ChatGPT was invented after COVID. If that makes like it
right,
blew up after COVID.
Post-COVID
It's
thing.
a post-COVID
so did you say,
thing.
not to cut you off, but did you say that most of the people in your generation, you feel like you don't think like them, or they do?
I don't
or
think
in
like
some
them.
way. Okay. And why do you say that? Because
I think old school. I think my parents always brought that into like my head. Just like find something that you really want to do, get after it, and just be the best. And just like
okay. And that's not common among your.
Definitely not. No.
Okay.
No.
And what is common? What's like the common viewpoint?
thing?
I want to be as lazy as possible, but still make as much money as possible.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
The tax business will be perfect.
Yeah, I guess.
Once you get it automated.
I guess.
Okay.
So that's kind of the thing. Like my generation is very. It's just very.
Oh, okay.
We have a live question.
Hello, live question.
Hello, viewers.
Let him finish that thought though.
So
what's the common thought process?
They're very lazy, and my parents always tell me to not be lazy.
Okay.
Because they always say when you have your own family, when you get older, and let's say you always wanted to run a company. When you run a company, you're a business owner, you don't have that option. It's just like you wake up, you go after it, you grind, make sure your family has food on the plate, like have a roof, take care of your wife or kids, and that's something that I always just kind of tell myself, and I still tell myself like get off your phone, like stop playing, don't be dumb, like you have things to
motivated,
do, go, like it's more like discipline, like because motivation is something, it comes, it goes, but like discipline is like day after day, you wake up, you get after it, you go home, you're still thinking about something you can do the next week or tomorrow. So I think like that's something that's why AI is so big nowadays. It's dummy proofing everything, and it's getting things efficiently done. It's making businesses grow 100x. So AI.
So
really
if I
is the
talk
future.
about that, so let's say because that's obviously a big buzzword in our industry, but we have having a lot of older business owners. It's like the people in this industry that are the most successful are usually in like their 60s, 70s, 80s, or even 90s.
Yeah.
So you have people walking around that you wouldn't think that they're like a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
And these are the type of businesses that these are, like the super high retention rate of revenue and business, right? And a high profit margin.
Yeah.
Which AI is possibly going to make even much more. So if we're talking about, because the lazy thing is interesting, right? Because in one way, I like lazy people.
Yeah.
Because they try to always find something
the
that's
smarter
easier.
way to get something done.
Which
Yeah,
I kind of like that,
And
but
that's
then
why
I also hate when people are lazy because it's against. I don't like. Like we need to get after it. We need to be good. So it's almost like. But I need to address it. The more I address it and I talk about it, I could kind of at least attract the generation, whether they're super lazy, not lazy.
Yeah.
They're interested either way.
Yeah.
Okay. What of this conference, because AI, Isaac, has been, everybody's talking about it, but not everybody's using it, or they might be using it in ways that like don't even make sense. Make sense, right? Or using it wrong. It's kind of like the meme with the guy at the gym where he's using the machine like totally.
Totally incorrectly. Yeah.
You're doing like the neck press, but it's actually the leg. So, what of this conference? Like when you've walked around, that would be on that wavelength. That's actually kind of like impressed you that you guys even might. Implement in your business, or is certainly like worth considering. What's like stood out to you?
So we walked around. We've heard a few systems so far. We walked by the it's, oh my god, I don't remember the name. It's the booth where at ATX. I don't remember the company name.
What impressed you about
Walter Cooler? I think it is.
Walter Cooler's okay.
And they had their access program was very interesting. We walked because we all like tech. I like tech a lot myself. And when listening to them, they were like, oh, you can implement all the documents of your client and it'll automatically fill out the return, personal or business. And I'm like, what could take 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how complicated, it can take 10 minutes to do, and you just review it. So I think people are just scared to use AI. Like, they don't really understand what it is. So just like when you learn taxes, you have to learn how to use AI, right? So I think that was the
automated data entry, because someone your age, in a way, you feel like, well, of course that should be happening, because you're just moving the data from one form to another.
Yeah.
And even I'm being older, you know, I think that, like, I'm like, what the heck are we?
Like, why wasn't this invented earlier, right?
Yeah. Well, why? But also, it's interesting because once you start using the tools, you see like, oh, it's only like 80% accurate maybe, and you don't realize that when doing taxes, what you do because you're in the business, 80% accurate is not.
It's not it. Yeah.
That could be causing like a massive
even
problem.
80% accurate, if you're saving 30 minutes to an hour, you can still revise it, and it's just like that time that you save. I feel like our biggest asset is time.
That's right.
Even me as a 19-year-old, I know that.
Okay.
I'm taught that. My parents always taught me, like, your biggest asset is your time.
Okay.
So if you're able to save your time, even if it's 80%, it's 80% correctly. Because obviously we could still make the mistake, and it will take longer manually putting it and then still revising. So if it's done in 5-10 minutes, but 80-90% done, you still have 30 minutes to 40 minutes of, let's say, revised time that is still extra to get it done, and it's just get it done quicker, right? Efficient, and get it done. So,
and with the same value to the client, or maybe even better value, because a firm that a company that's growing like y'all's business is, you start hitting a capacity level.
Exactly.
And so maybe your turnaround times
starts to slow down a little bit.
It gets harder to fulfill the work more quickly.
Exactly.
And so as you get more and more popular as a service provider, so you're kind of like, you're using the lazy to your advantage. It's not really lazy, it's just more smart, but it's that you can, to the client, it might be even more of a benefit, because you can get it back to them, because they want to rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with at the lowest amount.
They never want to be like, hey, I have to file my taxes. No one ever wants to file their taxes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a mandatory thing. And that's what's so good about the business. It's like, it's a mandatory thing. Just like, you don't have to go fishing for clients. It's like technically you still do, but they have to do it. So
yeah,
I think that's what's great about it.
Yeah, we consider it kind of like a plumber, where it's like, by the time I'm in your house, you already have a problem, and so
might as well fix it.
You're predisposed
to
get the issue taken care of. Man, I love your perspective. We really appreciate you sharing the time with us. For a younger person, or even, maybe they're not 19, but maybe they're interested in doing like a career change or this kind of thing, but especially for a younger generation person, of looking at the tax and accounting industry as potentially an avenue of opportunity. What would you recommend that they do to evaluate it, to see if it is a good fit? Like, would you recommend they try to connect with like mentors like you found, or what's kind of like some steps that you think that somebody should take if they hear this podcast and they're interested?
Yeah, so I think my biggest thing was, people always say like, find a career, like, it's not a rush to find a career. I think the opposite. I think the faster you find it, the better, because you get to grow in it and you get to be ahead of everybody. So when I found the tax area, and I got to now that I'm fully in, I'm only 19, right? So a lot of people in the industry are probably like double my age, right? So at least, right? So me being this young, by the time I'm their age, I could be still 10 times ahead of where they are at the same age. So I would say just go to a lot of events, business networking events, because there's a lot of different businesses. That's what I was doing, and it helped me, because I was like, oh, maybe this is interesting, maybe I like this, and then you get to talk with the person and get to learn a little bit, oh, maybe that's what I want to do, and maybe you go to their office, and that's what I did. And when I found what I wanted, I was like, now it's go time.
And so what you wanted by saying, as I like your point about looking, because when you're young, sometimes you think, let me look for a job and then I'll get into a career later. But in a way, you were looking at something where, like, a job that you could get that could become a career. Is that accurate? You had sort of an eye towards that?
No, I just wanted to find something that I know I could grow in. Like,
gotcha. Okay.
Like I always wanted to have my own business, so I knew whatever I pursued I could have my own thing with.
Yep.
But it had to be something that I could grow, I could be the best at, right? So when I found taxes, I'm like, okay, let me check the criteria. It's a necessary thing.
Yep.
You can grow, you can expand, and it's something that you can just always constantly just get better and better and better and better and better. And it's a business that I could own in the future.
Yeah.
Right? So
Fantastic.
when I found, like, I like to have those criteria, because if they don't really follow it, it makes the process harder. But when I found it, and me being so young, I was just like, that's it. Like, just now I found it, head down, let's just work and get after it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Isaac, for joining us today on the Tax Pro Nation
there's
podcast.
the question.
Oh yeah, sorry, live question. What is it? I got caught up. I was like excited. I'm talking to somebody under 20 that actually, you know.
The question is, which long-standing standards in the tax industry do you feel have worked well, and which you believe do not work well or even harm the industry?
Long-term standards?
What's like that? Because you said you're sort of a mix of old school and new school, which is, I think, is going to be very interesting to our audience because it's appealing. But you have old school values in a certain way, and then you have new school looking for getting interested in automations. What do you think we've been doing as an industry, long-standing, that works well, and you respect, and you think we should keep, versus things that you want to see thrown out the window?
I think things that we should keep is the urge to always learn.
Okay.
I think that my generation doesn't have that. I feel like that's a bad thing. I have that, like, yearn to learn. That's why we're all here. We all want to learn more and get to know new things. I think learning is an old school thing. Nowadays, people don't want to learn, and they get lazy. Like I said, like they don't want to learn. They don't want to get a book.
Isaac's a real optimist, I tell you.
Yeah. They don't want to learn, like,
what an advertisement.
They don't
want to
learn
people.
the tax code. I'm like, how do you want to? You don't want, like, that's basic things in the industry. Like, that's something I think that's old school. Like, learning is not becoming
a priority.
It should be a priority.
Okay.
And then obviously the things that we should get rid of is just the old systems, the old customs, just like, oh, send me your thing and then, like, I'll do your tax, and, like, just doing it however.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that's an old school long-term standard that needs to get, like, rid of. Every client should be treated like their family, because that's going to make them stay, and that's something that we've been doing, and it's been excellent, because then you get to have fun too. Like, at the end of the day, like, you don't want to have a career that you're not having fun in, because then, like, what's the point? You could be making all this money, but it's like you're stuck in the office 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't get to go out. You don't get to go out with your wife or your family. It's just like, what's the point, So having fun is a big priority for sure. So having more fun is I think something that we should implement more, and something that's a long-term thing that we have is definitely studying. That should stay forever. Learning is number one thing. The more you learn, the more, knowledge is wealth. So the more you learn, the more it's going to be able to just keep going.
Awesome. So I'm happy to hear that we haven't been doing everything wrong.
Only
most things.
No.
So speaking of learning, what Isaac's journey is, it kind of reminds me of one of my first people that I hired and mentored. She was like 17 when she started doing taxes, and actually her parents were our clients. And I noticed that she was really paying attention and kind of asking questions for her parents. And we ended up hiring her. She's still in the business today and has a great opportunity. So hey, Mariela, if you're watching this,
hello.
But the opportunity for Pronto Tax School, not to sell what we do, too much, but is to plug in to a training system and a place to learn all throughout your career. So if you have absolutely no experience whatsoever, that's not a problem. You can come in, you can take our training, you can connect with the community, you can meet interesting people just like Isaac right here, get some relationships going, learn about other people's experiences, and then grow all throughout your career, down the line when you're a business owner and you're hiring people and you're adding people. So we want to be able to empower whether you're young or more experienced, all along your life cycle of your tax career. We're never going to be the hero of that story, because you're going to be the hero, whatever you want to do. We just want to be the guide and the helper, just as to play a supporting role as you do that. So really appreciate your time to just share your perspective and your story.
This was very awesome. I I've done very little podcasts, if not like none at all. So this is really awesome.
You might have a future in it. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Isaac. Appreciate you. And
Of
repeat your business name one
Yes.
more time, so that if people wanted to learn more about what you and your team are doing,
Yes.
they could go check out your website, or
course.
repeat that one more
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So you guys can check us out, tbfinancials.com. Yeah, we do a lot of things. We do taxes. We do also bookkeeping. We do a whole lot of other things. We open LLCs, businesses, so a full variety of things we do. Yeah, if you're American, Brazilian, Hispanic, doesn't really matter. We invite all clients. If you guys want to know more about us, you can check us out, tbfinancial.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody that joined live as well.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Imelda. Join us as we continue to share these insightful conversations from the IRS Tax Forum. If you are interested in being part of our community, please visit prontotaxschool.com or email us to support@prontotaxschool.com. Being part of our memberships comes with getting expert support, top-rated training programs, and weekly video live events.